Hello and welcome to Soul Symbols. My name is Shelley. I'm a writer, an astrologer, and a card reader, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. Today is day 23 of the 31 Days of Tarot, and what that is a video blog sprint that is hosted by another YouTuber named Ethony. And what it is tarot and oracle card readers answer one question every day throughout the month of January. And today's question is, list your top 5 oracle decks from the last decade, from 2010 to 2019. And yesterday I cheated and I did 6, and today I'm gonna stick to the number and really do 5. It was a really tough call because I did have quite a few decks that I really love that are oracle, but we'll go ahead and jump right into it. The first deck is the Sacred Travelers cards, or Sacred Traveler Oracle cards by Denise Linn. And all of the names and authors are listed in the description box below. But what it is that, and I sew my own bags, so some of the bags that all the bags you see here, I made. But I really do love these cards. I host what I call a D&D reading, which is a fantasy-based tarot reading every 20th of the month. And I tend to use these cards, but even on just a daily basis, I feel like the images are very inspirational. I do feel like life is a journey, and when I pull these cards for myself, I just really, the keywords and the images really speak to me. They really empower me. I feel energized, I feel encouraged. And that is the thing, is that just every single image has a powerful message, and I really just like the way that it definitely, I love the artwork of it, and I also love the fact that it just, I think this is by the same author who does the other deck, the Daily Guidance deck, but I really just, I love it. I feel like it's just a positive deck, and it never fails. Sometimes when I'm pulling a personal read for myself, or I'm pulling the next day's energies, the card that I pull from this deck just seems to go along with the theme so very well. So I just really think that's awesome. Yeah, so that's deck number 1. Now the second deck is one that also I use quite frequently in my Dungeons and Dragons reading, and this one I actually keep in its box, and it's the Ravenswand Oracle by Hutton. And all of the names of the decks, authors and decks, are in the description box below. But what it is that this is a fantasy-based oracle deck that has both a really beautiful image and a keyword. But what's lovely is that after you pull the card, there is an entire mythical story that's listed in the book. The story is very brief, it's very succinct, but it's very powerful. I feel like the images just really speak volumes, and again, I can do an entire fantasy read with just these cards. I think they have this element of fantasy, but the stories and the figures that you see, they just really, again, like playing a tabletop fantasy game, it allows you to kind of embody something different, and it really, a different character. And by kind of paralleling yourself to this character, or stepping into this character's shoes, this artwork is actually really beautiful. This is one of my favorite cards. But anytime I pull these and read the story, I just feel like it's always very interesting. And just like the other ones, anytime I'm pulling these cards for myself, the stories just really speak to me. It always plays into whatever I'm feeling or whatever I'm going through, and it always gives really great advice. But yeah, so that's the Ravenswand Oracle. Go ahead and put Founding Day. Now the third one, you haven't seen too much on the channel, but I use a lot personally. I think the last time I used this was right around Christmas. I did like an angels reading, and any of the readings that I mention are listed in the playlists on my channel. I would be very honored if you would like, comment, and subscribe, but you know, no obligation to. If you ever want to just reference the videos that I have posted, please feel free to check them out. But what this is this deck is actually no longer in print. It's by the author Doreen Virtue. I'll still, you know, all of the details are still in the description box below. But this is your daily guidance from your angels oracle cards. And what it is it just gives really beautiful images, and the phrase always really speaks to me. I do have one odd card. You've seen it. What it is that every once in a while when I purchase things, they'll give me a card along with, like if I buy a stone off Etsy or something, and they'll send me an extra card, and it turns out that this card just happens to be the same size as the rest of my angel deck, and it's kind of got an angel theme, so I just keep it with it. But you know, some of the images are a little simpler, but all of the messages are just really, you know, interesting. They really speak to me. Anytime, you know, it gives really beautiful guidance. I feel like it really just kind of, you know, anytime I'm facing a problem, it really kind of gives me it gives very sound guidance, like you know, yeah, here you go. Trustworthy guidance. You've received a wonderful idea as an answer to your prayers. This idea is real and trustworthy. You can safely move forward with it, knowing that we are with you every step of the way. Ask for and be open to receiving our support for anything that you need related to this idea. So I just really think it's really beautiful, and sometimes it will talk about things like, it talks about things like energy work, and you know, there's fresh air. I really love the daydream card. I think this is beautiful. I think it's kind of like creative visualization. It's like you will more easily hear and receive our messages if you daydream regularly. Relax and open your mind to receiving without directing your thoughts. Just notice any feelings, visions, or ideas as if you were watching a movie. This is the seed of creativity. So you see, it's really lovely guidance. It kind of, you know, teaches you how to meditate, and you know, but it has beautiful messages, and it never fails. Anytime I'm facing a problem, you know, again, I pull other cards in addition, but it really just, it gives really pretty. Oh, look, there you go. I got listen again. We'll go ahead and put that on top. But the next deck is one that you have probably seen a little bit on the channel. I've pulled it out a few times, and it too is also in its box. It's one of the few that is in its box. It just kind of sits better on my bookcase that way. But it is Messages from Your Animal Spirit Guides by Stephen D. Farmer. This is the same author as the deck of the Earth Magic cards. And it just really, these cards are very simple. First off, I really love the cardstock. It kind of has a ripple kind of texture, so it makes it very easy to grip, but it still shuffles real well. It has kind of a matte finish, so I can see the cards very well, and it has interesting animals, and then it also has a phrase, let yourself stand out from the crowd, peacock. And what I think is beautiful is that it too also gives really good advice. Anytime, you know, I'm facing an issue, act on the opportunity that's before you and commit to it without equivocation. Oh, here we go. This is one of my favorites. It has a few rare animals, but this one is probably the card that comes out so often for me. It has a roadrunner, and I just think it's so funny because it says, keep your sense of humor and don't take things so seriously. And every single time I get this card, I go, me, you know. It also has a blue heron, which I think that's actually a very strong symbol that there's a story that my mom and I share. So blue herons are very important to us, and so I think of her when I see that card. And then it's got cute things like kiwi, but you know, do a walking meditation each day next week. So it's interesting. It has different kind of phrases, but you know, and it does give very good guidance. It has interesting animals, and then of course I love honeybees too, so it's got a bee in there. But again, it's a really wonderful deck, and I pull it out anytime I really need some guidance. Oh, I got the grouse. It's funny, over Thanksgiving I was saying with one of the other videos, I think it was the top five oracle of 2019. I did a Thanksgiving read. It's here under the playlist, and I have several animal decks. The next deck that I'm going to show you is an animal deck too. But out of all the animal decks I have, I thought I had 3 turkeys, and it turns out that I had 2 turkeys and a grouse. And this is the grouse. It's pretty great. Express yourself through rhythm and movement by drumming and dancing. So I don't know if a grouse is a real dancey kind of bird. Please tell me if anybody out there knows. Please feel free to leave a comment. But I get that card quite a bit, but I think that's great. I honestly think, I'm assuming a grouse is kind of like a quail. I'm not sure. It seems like a smaller bird, but you know, I definitely, it's become a very reliable card. So the last of the five decks is in the post where one of the first posts in this video blog sprint, I talked about my holiday goodies, like what holiday goodies I had gotten from Christmas or whatever holiday we celebrate. I celebrate Christmas, but and one of the card decks that I was really eagerly anticipating and that I got for Christmas was the Flora deck, and the name of the authors and the artists are in the description box below. And what it was is it was all of plants and flowers, and it's by the same author of this deck. The two are kind of sibling decks. And what this is the Fauna deck. So the deck I got at Christmas was the Flora, which is all plant and flower, and this is animal. And what is really cute is it's the same, what they have is a very it's like ink and watercolor kind of images. The images are just absolutely gorgeous. They have things like lion and swan. What's awesome is that they have chickadee, which is such a rare one, tenacity, which is my superpower. But you have moose, and what's lovely is that these cards actually fit very well. I have a little stand. I'll grab it real quick. I have the stand. Oh, there's my other turkey. I have my turkey in my stand. But I bought this little stand when I had gotten another floral deck, and the cards fit so well in it. It's become kind of my nature stand. You know, if I'm pulling a flower card or if I'm pulling an animal card, but there's just such lovely images, and some of them even translate to Lenormand. Like they have a mouse, and you know, they have a turtle. I think the turtle's really beautiful. But what I love about it also is that the back of it has a good paragraph and a half of description, and it's so inspirational. It's so inspirational, and it just really, it helps me understand these animals better. Like it gives me a description, it gives me kind of a theme for animals. And just one last thing, I think it's great, it has a shark. Actually, this deck has a shark too, which is a rare thing. And if you've seen in some of my other videos, I really do believe great white sharks. There's videos that talk about how great whites are meant to be free. They have to be free to swim. If they're kept in captivity for any length of time, it kind of dooms them to death. They really can't survive. So I really just kind of see it as a just keep swimming, and it's kind of like the born to be free kind of symbolism. But one other card that I really love is the honeybee. The honeybee in this deck is absolutely gorgeous. But it has really unique ones. I've pulled the buffalo several times for myself, and the message is connection. But it has very unique animals. Like for instance, it has a cicada, which is a rare thing. But that's what I love about these decks. is that for the cost, I mean, honestly, I think they're available on Etsy, and there's so many cards. I know that there's well over 50 cards, and it's usually, I think it's only like $30. So for a deck this large, and you know, to have such beautiful imagery, it's really, you know, of course I might just be justifying it because I want more cards, but I'm so glad to have both decks. I'm so glad to have both the animal and insect deck, and also have the flora. And so this is the fauna, and the other deck is the flora. But both of them are available on Etsy, and it's just a beautiful deck. I turn to it often. In addition, a lot of times I try to. Oh, I got the shark. I got the shark. So resolve. You know, that's awesome. But yeah, so guys, this was my top 10, yeah, it feels like it, right? Top 5 Oracle decks of the decade. And again, all of the details are in the description box below. If you'd like to join me tomorrow, I am continuing the 31 Days of Tarot for the rest of January. And tomorrow's question is, list your top 5 tarot books of the decade. And that's going to be awesome because believe it or not, I don't have that many tarot books, and the ones I use are pretty darn good. So I hope you can join me for that, and I'll see you then. Bye.